I had bought one of these Abbree AR-W5s thinking it would be utter rubbish and I'd just crack it open and turn it into something else. Instead, I've been pleasantly surprised and enjoyed using this little guy over the last several months to monitor local repeaters and a little FRS usage. 22 channels. The RF power is unknown. It seems to be on par with other similar walkies as far as range and readability. An internal antenna, which seems to do pretty well, although the proximity when you wear it on your body, it does deafen it slightly, but that's going to be any antenna or radio. It does have a physical power switch there, which is a little bit, it's not terrible, but you're not going to accidentally turn it off, I don't think, so that's cool. And it's going to stand by or remain charged up in the off position a lot longer than any of these ones with the soft power buttons. The PTT button does have a nice click to it. You probably can't hear that, but it's got all these buttons have a nice solid feel. The only thing about this PTT is that the Walkie does not have a integrated microphone, so without a speaker mic plugged in, you're just going to get a dead carrier. You got channel cloning, which works well, but only for simplex operation. The integrated clip here is actually pretty strong. The only thing is it's kind of awkward with the placement. You got to be careful you're not keying up. The headset is my favorite of any of these cheap Chinese radios. It's got a good click for the PTT. My only complaint is that it's not quite long enough to really reach somewhere convenient. I pretty much have to keep the Walkie clipped in my shirt pocket or something, but I'll get a TRRS cable, the tip ring sleeve, extension cable, and I'll be all set. The output audio is quite loud, and in fact the power on message to me is deafening. This is in the lowest volume, and I've got the microphone I'm recording with next to the earbud.
Turn on the radio.
So that's the lowest volume setting, and I always keep it there for listening to local repeaters, and it's been fine. It's sometimes even too loud. The USB-C charging, granted it's dependent on what the amperage of the charger you're plugging it into is, but it takes 2.5-3 hours for a full charge. It has these little contacts down here, but I have not seen the drop-in charger for sale anywhere, and USB-C works great anyway. This is USB-C programmable. However, if you order the package that has an apparent analog to digital converter chip, you'll probably just get the USB-C data cable like the one I got, this white one. What you need is a CH340 cable, which I will post link in the description. It will stand by, as in turned on, for about 2 days. However, if there's a lot of traffic, it might only last for a day, but it's never been less than a full day. And with the charge time and the amount these things cost, you can easily have more than one and swap them out. Abbree AR-W5 audio test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the last week or two, Abbree added the software for this radio to their website, so I was finally able to program it with repeater offsets. And I had my first QSO on the radio today for like 20 minutes on a local repeater when I went downtown. I did plug it in to charge once I received a response because I had no idea how much battery life it would draw, and I didn't want to Irish goodbye the guy I was talking to. Due to being plugged in, but also the QSO length, I noticed the radio was warm when I went to unplug the USB-C cable after exchanging 7.3, so I don't know that this is the radio for rag chewing, but more testing will follow. Alright, we've got the program loaded here. It is called W1-4. I don't know why, since this is a W5, but we're going to check to make sure the COM port's right. Okay, turn it on. Flashes blue, does its initialization. As soon as that goes away, alright, we'll read. You get it flashing red when it's reading. And if yours isn't charged all the way, it's going to be flashing, I believe that's blue and red, so it's going to look a little different. Or maybe it's purple, I can't remember when it's charging. Alright, so here's our, I'll turn this back off. Frequencies, obviously, so you can do your repeater offsets. High and low power, no idea. I imagine it's like half a watt or something, and maybe 1 watt, 2 watts. No more than that, that's for sure. This scan, I haven't been able to figure out how to activate the scan function. I don't know if it's missing from the software or if it's a combination of buttons that you have to hold to turn when you turn it on. I haven't figured that out. But the feature I really want to draw your attention to is the receive only. And this is great since I mostly would use this for monitoring to make sure that I don't accidentally key up if it's, I lean against something, it's in a shirt pocket or my pants pocket or whatever. I believe it gives like a triple beep when you hit the PTT when this is activated. But also due to the cost of these, they're so cheap that you could give this to somebody that you want to get into ham radio, just, activate this, and they can't transmit without a license, they can just listen, so that's pretty neat. You got some, I think it's a hexadecimal type code thing that Motorola's use. Probably not legal for FRS or ham. Not sure about that, but here's your general settings. You can pause this and look through it. The other feature I will bring your attention to is I really do like the way that this eliminates the burst at the end of transmissions, and like some cheap walkie-talkies, it works quite well. Gives you several different options here as also. The voice prompts, unfortunately, you kind of have to leave them on because otherwise you have no idea what channel you're on. Now you can set this so, let's just say channel 1 is your favorite repeater. Well, if you get lost, just turn the thing off and on again and it should come back to that. Radio information, nothing useful there. Now the two things I want to draw your attention to are when the program is installed first, it's going to come up in Chinese, or at least mine did, and that looks like that. And so apparently this means English. Now if you click this and it doesn't switch over for you, what you're going to need to do, you'll go to Program Files x86 xydz w1-4 and then change the permissions on setting.ini. So see how it says modify or allow under modify with users? You'll need that checked. Now I don't know if this is just a Windows 8 thing, and furthermore, when you unzip the file, it has these Chinese characters. Now for me with Windows 8, this is the only Windows PC I have at my disposal. When you try and install, you get this error. So if you just delete those characters, really cool little radio, lots of unique features that other radios I've experimented with don't have, and quite impressed with the receive time, the strength of the signal, the audio, everything about it. It's quite good for about 17 US.